are real beats. Keep talking big, all in my ear. What the hell did you say? Ain't got no chance, can't get no dance, not unless you are paying. Cash, no joke, laughing my thing, shit funny. All I know is bitch better have my money. Ain't drinking, you say, what's up, nigga? Why they must be crazy?
What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Got a dope interview for you today.
I'ma throw shade if I can't get it. I'ma throw shade if I can't get paid. I'ma throw shade if I can't get paid. I'ma throw shade if I can't get paid. I'ma throw shade if I can't get paid.
What's going on?
Shade comes from reading.
What's going on?
Reading came
Thank
first.
you for tuning in. You already know.
Reading
I see you.
is the real art form of
Hola.
insult. You get in a smart crack and everyone laughs
Shout
and
out to
kikis
Cass.
because you found a flaw and exaggerated it. Then you've got a good read going. Then reading became a developed form where it became shade. Shade is, I don't tell you ugly,
This is
but
a good song.
I don't have to tell you because you know you're ugly. And that's shade.
That's who we were born. What's going on? We got a great show for you today. We're about to catch up with Darion from the come up. See what's going on. Super excited. Bitch, better have my money.
I'ma throw shade if I can't get paid. 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 I'ma throw shade if I can't get paid.
I am J-Twan, king and I'm so fly. Bad bitches know why. Candy paint Chevy, still tipping in my low ride. Answer to no doubt, they think we count so dry. Saying mucho de dinero, you niggas. I know that they confident, cause we were born releasing. If I came with Berlin, that means I came with the illest. The way she bung on the floor, she twerk, pop at it rough. She gets her ass on the floor, and then she drop it. Pull up and cut in my bins and me hit the clip, my Benjamins. Hey, but you won't play, cause you too shady. Show me like Eminem, I'm here with my people, you already know. I hop on the mat, I'm missing the drip. For the money, 2 for the show, 3 for making it rain on these hoes. She got a hand out, but she ain't asking for a motherfucking handout. You wanna spend the night, baby? You must be crazy. My whole team screaming out, fuck you, baby.
I'ma throw shade if I can't get paid.
Guys, thank you for tuning in. We got a great show for you today. We're going to shout out a few sponsors of the show. You know, AD from Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. Well, she sponsors the show with her brand called Dig the Kicks. It is a brand that is unisex. She has crop tops, t-shirts, shorts, joggers, sweatsuits. She has it all. Dad hats is super lit, super comfortable. I know you've seen me wear them on a couple of our shows previously. Make sure y'all head over to Dig the Kicks, DTK.com, and make sure y'all hit that promo code and type in Royal so you can get 15% off. We're also sponsored by SwagNationMagazine.com, the #1 independent artist magazine in the nation, also reaching 75 countries worldwide. And we also made history by being the first LGBT entrepreneurs to grace their cover. It's super lit, guys. Make sure y'all support SwagNationMagazine.com. It is a super, super lit thing. You see your boy right there on the cover of the magazine, volume 14. Make sure you go get your edition now. Guys, I know you guys have been waiting again for this particular cast member. I've been getting a lot of people in my inbox asking. They have a lot of questions that they want me to ask him. We are at episode 10. Episode 11 will be the finale, which then the reunion will come, which they just filmed last weekend. There was a pre-video uploaded with Milan, Karan, and DEION. So, there's a little bit to talk about. So I cannot wait to get him on. So without further ado, guys, thank you for tuning in. I apologize for all of that good stuff, but we don't have to do all the, get to know. You know him. We had him on the show. You see him on the come up. We know his Instagram. We know his following. We know a lot of things about him. So we're just going to start where we left off and proceed forward. So last time we talked to you, it was more towards the beginning of the season, and a lot has happened because a lot has happened through, your personality, but some more stuff has happened since then, and we got some more clarifications of what was going to happen, because at that time, if I'm not mistaken, things were still brewing, and we didn't have no conclusion to what was going to happen between you and Rock, between, you and Tay, or what happened with Milan and all of that good stuff. So from there, I want to go into the, what was it called? Besties and...
Well, as Milan calls it, besties and bullshit, but it's besties and bottles. That's what it was called.
Bestie and bottles, right? It was called so many things. So I just want to, So I want to go back. I want to go to there. So you got there. There was a lot of people already have arrived before you got there. I want you to explain the moment. Was it an awkward moment? Did you feel the tension? Did you know what you was walking into? What was that?
Well, I felt okay, because at the time, me and Milan had set a path where we would be like, okay, we kept we kept fighting to make up, and then all of a sudden we get into it again. So it just kind of felt like an ongoing cycle. So everybody should know, at that lemon squeeze, me and Milan actually talked, and we were like, okay, we're going to bury it here. I didn't like this. You don't like this about me, but we say the same thing. We like each other. I keep saying, I like you, Milan. I like you, DEION. But we keep ending up getting into it. So it just kind of feels like a contradiction at this point. So we did that. And then when I got to Besties and Bottles, prior to that, I had saw a live where Milan went live with the light-skinned Darion. I guess he was just telling, in the Milan's defense, he was just telling him things about it. But at that time, no, I just got on you for running and telling Rock something, and now you do the same thing with this boy on live who's not there. So I was like, no. I said, well, once my mind is made up, I was like, we all good. I was like, that's okay. So when I came into it, I'll be honest with you, I was guns blazing. So I saw Milan. I was being very subliminal. One thing about me is I'm very subliminal. So I'll talk around you just to get your attention. And then once you get out of character, I'm like, okay, now we can talk, because now I got your attention. I wasn't even talking to you. I may have been talking about you, but I wasn't talking to you. So, it just kind of went from there. Yeah.
So sidebar, we're going to continue with this conversation, but sidebar, I do want to talk about when you're like, what you were just describing, because throughout the comments, and it's funny how I say this, because I watch it, again, like I tell all the cast members, I watch it with two lenses. I watch it, to do my research and to make sure I know what I'm talking about, but I also watch it as a fan. Shout out to Karan for producing such amazing work, whatever. But yeah, shout out to Karan, for real, I love it. But I watch it, and in the beginning of the season, you see a lot of the comments, and they're like, okay, who is this? He wants to be a cast member so bad. He's this, he's that. But now you read the comments here, episode 10. It's the show wouldn't be nothing without him. I love Deion. I do this, I do that, whatever case may be. So what do you grasp out of that as far as what you've seen when you first started watching it to what you see now?
I will say in the beginning, of course, some people are saying, who's this, who's that, or what are you here for? I get it. Like, I understand what's going on. I get it. So one thing about me is, and I always put a disclaimer out there, I do not get upset about comments. I do not get upset about people reading me. I do not get upset when people do reviews. I actually would shout out everybody who do a review. Like, if you did one and you read the hell out of me, I salute, because I love a bitch who can read. So one thing on me, if I can dish it, I can definitely take it. So
I was just saying that today.
That's what I realized. If you ever watch me get into it with somebody, like you don't see me get upset about what they said specifically about me. I just feel like it is what it is, because trust me, you take your digs, and I'm definitely going to take my digs. So it is what it is. So going into it before, I was kind of like, oh, God. But now I will say, as much as I don't care for certain people on the show now, I will say at the time, it was an ensemble show. So I do feel like when people say, like, certain people don't bring certain things, that's you watching it from a different lens. But if you're actually there, you have to realize they do bring stuff to the show. You just probably don't see what they bring.
Yes, it's a whole cast, and there's a reason for it.
It's definitely an ensemble, but I do take the positive out of all that when people be like, oh, the show wouldn't be anything without Deion. Yeah, and then I take some of it as, damn, bitch. Sometimes, like I said, and I talk about this at the reunion too, I say sometimes watching myself is very cringy, and people don't realize that. Like, people think I be living for myself when I watch myself. I don't. I watch myself a lot of times, and I be like, why do I have to say the things I say? Why do I have to say the things I say? Why can't I just tone it down? Why couldn't I? Know it's all funny to everybody, and it's just like, oh, he's just telling the truth. Sometimes I've realized, in just grasping this from the show and talking to other cast members of, like, New York, I talked to Chance and I talked to Milan now, it's not a matter of me being funny shady. Sometimes I've come to realize my shade is sometimes dark. Like, I just take it there, and to me, it don't be intentional. It just be a matter of I'm in the moment and I'm saying what I want to say. But now I'm very much more cautious, and I'm very more conscious about when I say this, y'all aren't going to receive it that way versus somebody who knows me, who knows that I'm not saying it that way. Right. So, it's definitely, I would say towards the beginning of the season, now the end of the season, it's definitely 360. It's definitely a 360.
Well, that's dope that you can learn, not only grow as a career or what you're doing for, the come up per se, but to grow as an individual, as a person too, to be able to watch yourself and learn and be able to be like, okay, damn, I really sound like that. Because a lot of people you don't hear yourself, so you don't really know how you sound when you come off the way you come off. You feel me? So, and perception is everything. Perception actually runs, guides the world along. You move by perception, by how you perceive things. And, that's dope that you can do that. But I say that's interesting because you are someone that I feel like, not to say you don't think before you talk, but I feel like you think very rapidly before you talk. And because your comebacks are very quick, they're really quick. Like if you already knew what it was about to happen and all of that stuff like that. So where does that come from? Where does this reads come from?
I've always had that in me. One thing about me is I've never had to fight in my life. Like, I'm not saying that because I'm better than nobody. It's just I've just never been exposed to that type of stuff. I went to pretty much a melting pot of a high school. Even though I went to a melting pot and then I came to all black school, I may have seen fights with them. But to me, when I got with the friends I did and some of the stuff I would say, and I'll just be honest with you, I'm from Florida, so a lot of stuff I be saying, a lot of stuff the people here in Florida, we say we cut deep, and we say some things, and we just be like, I don't give a fuck. If you feel that way, that's what you feel. Right. We say your mama, and you may get offended, but to us, it's just like, child, we just saying your mama. But
right, it's not that deep, right?
It's not deep. So me actually growing up here and just having a slick mouth and learning that, I've learned to just say a lot of stuff without having to get into a physical altercation, thank God. Well, I would say, I'm not going to say it. So, I just saved myself from getting into a physical altercation throughout my high school.
I read between the lines.
Exactly, without my high school years, I should say, up until recently. But I don't know, like, it just kind of came quick. And I've always had friends who, like, were about, like, either they were transitioning or whatever, and people will really come for them a lot. And they know because they won't say much, and but when they come for me, they know that this mouth. One thing about me is I'd be like, who's finna shut up? Like, very much Saucy Santana. I'm definitely not finna shut up. So I just feel like in a time you have to, be opinionated in a group. If you're joining a reality show, if you're going to join a group and you're wanting to get to know people, there's people on here that you're not going to like. And there's people on here who are not going to like you. Whether you do anything, say nothing, or do everything, they aren't going to like you. And I've learned that's okay. But I've also learned that my opinion still stands. And if that's how I felt at the moment about certain things, that's how I felt. I've always been big enough to come back and be like, you know what, I can sit my big ass down and apologize when I'm wrong. One thing about me.
I can say this. I am very unbiased to this, and I love all you guys, and I wish everyone success. You know what I mean? I don't look at you guys like I like one more than the other. Yeah. Although the fan in me, of course, gravitates and has its favorites and stuff like that. But one thing that I do respect about you, I may not condone everything that may come out your mouth or everything you may do, but one thing that I do respect is that you do own your stuff. Right, wrong, or indifferent. Like, that's one thing that I do respect. And one thing that, like, if you mean it, you mean it. Like the scene where at the sit down at Blasian's dinner that he left and stuff like that. Even when you was talking to Rock, you was like, I felt that, and I still feel that, and I don't take it back regardless. Like, it is what it is. With Milan, that's what it was. That's still how I feel. It doesn't change anything. I'm just letting you know. I apologize if you feel some type of way, if that's the case. You feel me? And I can respect things of that nature because you may not be right all the time, but the ownership and accountability, I think, makes up for it. And that's why I can respect a person like you.
Thank you.
Honestly.
It just like I said, it's just a matter of learning how to be respectful, but also let you know that's how I felt. And either we can come to an agreement or we just don't have to agree at all. Like, we just don't have to. One thing about me is I'm all for opinions. Whether people think, you just be wanting to hear your opinion, that's not true. That's not true. I allow everybody else to get out their opinion at the same time and let them speak too. But guess what? I still said what I said, and I still meant what I said. Now, whether you believe what you said or not, that has nothing to do with me. So it's just, I don't know. But to answer your question, yes, I've always been that way. I've always had a slick mouth and a slick read. So I don't think that's going to change. But like I said, I've just learned how to mold it now versus me just spewing it out. Right. Now I've learned how to mold it. So
you're supposed to grow, with what you know and what you learn, and especially when you are, it's more common now, but it's also still a rarity where you're one of the people that get to see themselves in real life, on TV and get some public notoriety off of it, but you get to see yourself nonetheless, and you get to be able to do stuff that a lot of us can't do, which is look back, see your behavior, and be able to adjust it from there, because that only then you can be a better person. And I love that you're learning that aspect. But going back to the show, I want to move forward to the actual dinner. And at Blasian's dinner, it was a lot of commotion. You missed a lot of what happened beforehand, but when you got there, it got a little hot again. Quay brought up the whole thing about Milan, bringing up the conversation of Rock and all of that. So I want to know, what is the true essence of the problem y'all got with each other? Or if you even have a problem, because in the comments, there's a lot of, so what actually happened? Where is this, coming from? Because it can't just be the side comments that he said episode 1.
It really, honestly, was. That was all this was. Like, it really, like, I think people think that it's some behind-the-scenes story. It's really not. Like, me and Rock did not know each other prior. I didn't know anything about any of his situations or anything. I just wanted him to apologize and be like, if I've done something to offend you, I'm sorry. And I would have shut the hell up at the time. I really would have shut the hell up. But I just felt like, I think when you're in the midst of the moment, you're with your friend, and I get it, because I do it too. Like, when I'm in the moment of my friend, if my friend is arguing and me and my friend know secret codes and we just talking or whatever the case is, and we're talking about a bitch that we don't really like and she's sitting right here, like, we do that. And that's how all friends are. Like, it's not a matter of, oh, that's just how they are. No, we all do it. And I just felt like they were trying to punk me, and I felt like he was trying to join that punking crew type thing. And I was like,
Gotcha.
I don't need, that's where the side comment, I don't need you on the side saying anything if me and Tay Anthony are getting into it. Leave it there. Be that friend that's just going to be like, child, why are you going back and forth with him? Just let it go. Like, sometimes when I look at my friend, I be like, why are you going back and forth with her? Like, let this shit go. Like, it's not that deep. So,
right.
My thing is, if you felt like I was looking for a moment or anything, you shouldn't have gave me the moment. If you felt like I was looking for the moment, then I would have paid me dust and been like, and just look the other way. You can say what you want to say, but I'm not giving you the moment. So at that time, that's how I felt. So when I saw him again, and I saw him after the post, I just was like, well, what was the point? Because in my eye, I was like, I don't do the whole social media thing. Like, I don't hop on social media and cuss people out. I just don't do things like that. Like, I'm not a social media type of person. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, but you had a lot to say about me through social media. And my thing is, I ain't mind it. Trust me, I didn't mind it. I honestly think the dinner went okay. At first, no. At first, between me and Rock, when he was talking about his degree at 17, and I was talking about did you fuck for it, all that stuff. That was just me being a key and reading, because me and him was in a verbal argument. Even afterwards, like me personally, afterwards, I was like, it ain't that deep. Like when I talked to Chris, I was like, it's not that deep. Like I don't even know why we even like got into it that deep. That's why I always be able to say, I'm always honest enough to come back and come full circle and be like, damn, Deion. It's one thing to read somebody, but it's another thing to get real dark with it. Especially when it's a situation that's not that deep. Like that's why I'm telling you.
So without spilling tea, do we get to see some resolution between that, other than just from what we saw in the episode?
At the reunion, I will say I definitely issued an apology. Now I can't say whether he was there or not, but I can say that I definitely issued the apology through the airways, because I'm a firm believer in, if I humiliate you publicly, I need to apologize to you publicly. So I feel as if I can't say the things I said out of my mouth publicly, and then go behind closed doors and just apologize. No, I need to get in front of everybody and say I was wrong for the things I said in front of these cameras. That's how I feel. I feel like if you did me dirty in front of my 4 friends, you need to apologize to me in front of my peoples, because that was wrong as fuck. Like I said, I'm always big about apologizing. I know when the situation is not that deep. For me and Rock, it wasn't that deep. I issued that, and I wholeheartedly meant that, because I've been, like I said, and we'll get into Milan in a little bit, but recently, like I said, I've been telling Milan, like, damn, I feel so bad. Like, I feel so bad saying that stuff I said about Rock, because I just know that's not who I am. Like, I don't go that far unless you push me that far. And he technically didn't really even push me that far. But
right.
It was like you said, about growth and coming back and realizing, like, you can calm down sometimes, Deion. I can pipe down on I can put the dog back. I can lock the dog back up in the gate sometimes, child. I don't got to let him run loose all the time. But
all the time, right. No, I mean, I can kind of relate with you. And again, I don't condone. We promote nothing but positivity here. But even though we're all human, you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. And my thing, I can relate with you because I'm a very, very sincere and nice guy. Like I really am. A lot of people close to me can tell you that. But my evil side, I try not to get there because it can be very extra and it's not that deep sometimes. You feel what I'm saying? So that's why I keep myself away. But like you, I've learned and still learning to kind of cope things a little bit and tell myself that it's not that deep. And sometimes I don't got to go so in or go so hard for certain situations, because other people, you don't know how, again, like I said before, perception. You don't know how other people may perceive things or may take things because of the things that they've been through in their life, you know, in their lifetimes and stuff like that. So I can honestly, truly respect that. So going in, you know, we touched a little bit on reunion. I know we can't talk much on reunion, but let us know what the anticipation is high. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like we're at the edge of our seats. Like, give us something. What can you say about the reunion?
I could tell you that we have a finished reunion. It is not I know the coming to New York got real hectic, but Atlanta is one of Karan's finished reunions. Despite whatever happened to whatever cast member, whether it's me or somebody else, I definitely stayed and finished. I can tell you that. I stayed and finished. It was a lot of, I think that people are going to look at it probably a little bit different. They're probably not going to get the same DEION they got probably during the season like they wanted to. But I don't know. It was just a matter of, like I said.
So they get more of the mature DEION?
They'll get probably more of a reserved one, because one thing about me is I don't have time to go back and forth about stupid stuff, especially when I can't get a word out edgewise. One thing about me I've learned, and this is just me in real life, if you're yelling over me or doing whatever you're doing to me, one thing about me is I will not go back and forth with you, because clearly I can't get a word out edgewise. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be quiet, because there's nothing for me to talk about. Because if we're not going to talk and we're not going to act like mature adults, then there's no need to talk about it. So, but I can say you could tune in. Hell, I don't even know if I want to tune in to my own reunion, but I don't know. It's just what I think once it comes out and you know, talk to other cast members and get their feel for whatever happened, we can come back and we can revisit that topic. And I definitely come back on and speak my piece about a lot of things. But I did want to tell people this, because I know, and I don't mean to cut you off or anything, but I know a lot of people have been wondering what happened with me and Milan. Like, everybody has keep blowing my DM.
Yes, we're definitely going to talk about you and Milan.
Because, child, everybody and their mama keep asking me what happened with that boy. So, and I'll just get this out of the way in a quick synopsis of it. After Blasian's dinner, during Blasian's dinner, we actually stuck out about what we said. We said that we are going to leave it on this bench in front of that Olive Bistro. We meant that. At least I know I did, and I know he did. So I was like, because we keep saying the same thing, Milan. We like each other. We like each other. Even Chris was like, y'all fight too much for people who like each other. Like, she just kept saying, she was like, y'all really, she would say it around the group. She was like, they like each other. I don't know why they keep getting into it, but they like each other and they want to be cool. I'm like, child, I don't want to be cool with him. And he was like, well, I don't want to be cool with him either. So it was just like a brother type of vibe where you just be like, I don't like you, bitch. And I don't like what you be doing sometimes, but I don't like you either, bitch. So we just kind of got to a common ground. And ever since then, honestly, we've gotten each other's number. We FaceTime a lot. Like, I talk to Milan about certain things. We may not go too deep in life about our personal lives, but we definitely speak every day. I try to talk to him. We just have a good time. And I honestly can genuinely say I made a friend on reality TV. As much as people think that doesn't happen, dope. You can say you actually made a friend on reality. I can actually say I made a friend that I honestly would confide in and tell all to if the create the space. But me and Milan are really good. And
that's dope. And I guess you would know it's genuine because you did go through the waters already. So, like, you know what I mean? It makes it more. Oh, look, you just disappeared.
Told you my life was going on.
It makes it a little bit more authentic to know that, you know, y'all can go through all of that and then still overcome and create a friendship over it. You know what I mean? So that's definitely dope about that. But there's also something else, which we were going to talk about, Milan, but there's also something else I wanted to talk about because as the relationship, we still don't know. So I know there's not much we can say to this finale episode, but as your relationship shifted with Milan, it seems like it was shifting with Darion, because you and Darion was very, you know, gang, squad up, you know, click, you know what I mean? And what I want to know, which I don't know if y'all going to talk about it in the next episode, did he feel some type of way that you stayed and didn't leave with him at the Ablations dinner?
No. As far as to my knowledge, no. We could talk about the Blazing Dinner episode because it already aired, but as far as that knowledge, no. At that time, I did wanted people to understand his side of things, because one thing about me is, even though I say the stuff I say, I can look at things from both sides. I can look at it. Me years ago, no. Once I chose a side, I don't see nothing else. But me now, I can look at both sides and be like, well, y'all got to understand where he's coming from, but I also understand where y'all are coming from.
The same exact way.
I try my best to stay in the middle of things, but I also try my best to still stick up for somebody at that time who I was, you know, building a friendship with. So I just felt like nobody was understanding what he was saying, because he was like, well, I don't mess with bitches who mess with bitches that I already fought, or whatever he said, whatever.
I relate to that as well.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I understood that. I got that. Because if I fought somebody, there's no way that I could be cool with your friend or whatever the case is.
It's how we're brought up. Everyone doesn't understand that because everyone's not raised that way. But I'm from North New Jersey, where loyalty is everything. And if you don't fuck with my bitch, I don't fuck with you.
Exactly.
And your whole squad, period. So that's
what I'm saying. That's why I got what he was saying. But on the other side I was like, well, at the same time, it'd be different if Blasian was coming on very raw. Like, it would be so different if Blasian was just like...
Agreed as well. Yes.
And, like, if Blasian was just like, I don't give a fuck, like, if he was doing all that, Darion, I'm 10 toes down. I got you. But I just felt like Blasian wasn't giving all that. Blasian was really like, I don't understand where this is coming from. Just because I'm cool with Tay Anthony has nothing to do with a me and you friendship. I just feel like this. If you play neutral, the quickest thing to do, all you have to do is, for Blasian's sake, is to be like, if I want to hang out with Darion or whatever the case is, he could just be like, we don't talk about Tay Anthony. We won't talk about Tay Anthony. If I hang out with Tay Anthony, we won't talk about Darion. That's how I feel. Like, I feel like if you do neutral, you have to really remain neutral. Like, when they start talking,
and because I'm unbiased, I feel like I can speak the truth. And I actually love Darion. I think he's a dope cast member. I think he's a dope artist. I think he should strive and keep succeeding. But one thing I do agree with is that I don't think that Darion needs to act in that accord, especially when building his brand, especially to someone. No. And not only that, what didn't make sense was, if you're going to keep that energy, which I understand, you know what I mean? Like I just stated, you feel me? I'm grown now, so I know how to act accordingly. But my whole thing is, if you're going to be that way, keep that energy with everyone, because Tay Anthony is also cool with Quay.
Yeah.
And he wasn't upset with Quay. You know what I'm saying? So my whole thing was, you know what I mean? I understand where you're coming from, brother, but at the same time, if you're going to be like that with one, you have to be like that with all. If that's what you're going off as your defense. You feel what I'm saying? Like, because then it doesn't make sense, because then that you're kind of biting your tongue right now. But at the same time, again, like I said, I could definitely understand. So can you express your relationship with Darion now, or is that we have to wait and see?
You definitely have to wait and see. If you want to speak real tense, there's no relationship with me and Darion. And the reunion will solidify why there's no real relationship with me and Darion. One thing about me is I am a person where we can sit down and have a conversation and we can talk it out. And if we got to read each other, whatever the case is, if you feel like you got to read me down. But I'm all about let's get to the bottom of what is the problem. Because to this day, I cannot tell you what the issue is. I can tell you what it would consist of, but I can't tell you how he's feeling. Because I'm not Darion,
right.
So I can't tell you.
Like we said,
so
perception.
Darion has to tell you exactly how he's feeling about that situation, about that subject. I can only tell you how I felt about it. When you watch, and we could, like I said, we could talk. Me and Milan had that FaceTime. Me and Milan had that FaceTime on the show. And it just kind of got heated. I just wish, sometimes I wish, like a little bit of me wish I didn't bring it up, but I just felt like that was my real life, and that was what was really happening to me at that moment. Right. So I just felt like maybe he was like I said, I can only speculate because I don't know how he feels. Maybe he was upset because I brought it to Milan, and out of all people, you know, he don't really care for Milan. So I could see 2% of why you would be upset about that. You're like, you know, as I'm trying to build a friendship with you, and out of all people, you bring it to this bitch that I don't really care for.
Right.
Understood. But I feel like sometimes you got to be able to express that and not express that in other ways, but you have to learn how to express that. So, and I know you can read between these lines, so
I read them already twice.
But I don't know. I hope that hopefully we really can come to a resolution. Like, I really hope so. Like, I'm not saying that we got to be ace boon coons or whatever the case is.
Right. But cordially, no. Like, you know, as small as the community is in Atlanta, the community is small, period.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to run in each other. And with you guys being on the same show, which leads me to my next question, will you be on next season? You know, would there be another season for you if they ask you?
You know, I would love to do another season, and if the reunion didn't go the way, from my personal opinion, if it didn't go the way that it did, I would love to say hell yes, sign me the fuck up. But sometimes certain things have never, like I told you, certain things have never happened to me before in my life. And that reunion was a whole experience. I have never.
That's the third time I read between the lines.
So it was just a lot. It was just a lot that came with it. So it was just a lot to take in. Regardless, and not even just that. It's long. I mean, you're arguing with people that you haven't seen in months. So like I said, even though the show is airing, it's just like I'm over it in real life. Like, I just don't care about the show. Like, I don't care. I'm not saying I don't care about the show. It's just a matter of I don't care what has transpired back then. I'm on a whole new wavelength now. So to re-talk this out, to rehash these things that I really don't care about, and I don't know, I was just over it. Like, I was just very much over it. And then after, you know, we had a series of unfortunate events, I was just really over it then. So I'm just like, I don't know if, do I want this to be my life? Like, do I want this to happen to me again? Do I want this to be the group dynamic? Like, it shouldn't have to be that way. But, you know, that's me now. If you ask me in about 4 months, like I've told Karan, if you ask me now, I have every right to say fuck no. But if you ask me in about 3 months, I may be like, yeah, I could do this. I could do it again. I can have like I said, I'm all down for mature conversations. If that's what's going to take place, I am all for it. I can.
Oh my God! I read this book about 6 times now.
So I'm just saying, I just feel like we can have that. And thank you. I don't know, but I did tell Karan, because I know a lot of people were asking me, like, we want to see Deion's life. We want you to open up a little bit more. Like, can you let the cameras into your life this time? I agreed. And I even talked about this at the reunion. At the end of the reunion, I said, you know, I can do it. I can open up my life a little bit. I've learned how to change the narrative now. I learned how to go into certain things and then pull back. So now I know not necessarily what to say. I just know how to say certain things and how to be strategic about certain things to say or certain things to do. Like I said, I don't mind bringing up certain things in my life. I feel like I can help out a lot of people, and maybe my story can definitely help out somebody who's in the dark right now. So, like I said, I'm open to it. If the offer letter is sent right back to me, I don't know if it will be or not. But I mean, I know a lot of people are like, child, you know, if it's gonna be sent to you, but we really don't know how Karan thinks. So I don't know.
I do want to say that, you know, I do a lot of research before I do these interviews, and because I want to make sure that I'm doing factual saying factual statements and stuff. So you are, as of now, the fan favorite. You're the most talked about. You're the most liked. You are also the most hated. So and people would probably say, well, how is he the most liked and also the most hated? Because you get the most love, but you also get the most hate out of a lot of people. Which, like they say, all publicity is good publicity. You feel what I'm saying? But because you are the most hated and because you are the most loved makes you the most talked about. Which then entails makes you the fan favorite. So, with that being said, how does that make you feel overall that now you're like, I know you're like, it's up to Quran, but now that the audience wants you back, how does that make you feel from coming from not being a public figure to actually becoming one?
It was actually a funny story. I'm so glad you brought that up. So I just want to tell a quick story. Today, I was going to my car, and a car literally drove up on me, and it was the same kind of car I had. So I'm walking in my car, and this girl, she rolls down her window, and she was like, "Oh my God, it's DEION." And I'm sitting here like, do I know her from high school? Like, I was like, my mind is running. I'm like, do I know her from high school? Do I know her from a store that I seen? Is she one of my friends' friends?
Right.
And then, but as she's doing all this, and like, she's kind of like, oh my God, it's DEION. I was telling her, I said, if you want to talk to me, you got a car behind you, so you might want to park. So she parked, she get out the car, she goes, oh my God, I watch your show. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, please don't, I was like, And she was like, oh my God, I would love a hug. We hugged. She was like, my name is DEION as well. And she showed me her driver's license. And I just thought it was so sweet how she did it. And, it was just really sweet. And she showed me, and then she was like, the first thing I noticed it was you is because Exhibit A, the damn bun. So I said, see, I'm going to have to give Milan a little check, child, because he is the main reason why this bun is so famous. Because, like I told people, I said, the bun is the extra cast member. Y'all just don't know it. So I said, much as everybody be giving me heat about my bun, y'all going to hop up off my bun. But
look, you better come with a hair care product for buns.
They gonna hop off my bun. There we go. It's gonna be called D-Buns, and you're gonna
D-Bun. You can just D-Bun it. Just put it right. Boop, boop.
If you need your hair put up, put a bun on, and walk out the house. So no, but stuff like that really didn't sink into me. And then on top of that, it was just a matter of, I just never had that happen to me. But to answer your question, though, for real, it's just like when people say I'm a fan favorite or thing like that, it just doesn't hit me because it's just like I'm still a boy out here chasing my dreams as in a degree dream, and I'm still out here trying to be a nurse practitioner. So, like, to me, I'm just like, it's not like I'm trying to chase a media personality career. Like, I'm not. Like, I do this, but I'm also not trying to chase that. I am trying to chase a different type of bag. Like, I'm really trying to chase something that I wholeheartedly want to do. So it's just different. Like I said, I see the hate comments. I see people saying they don't like me. But again, I tell you all the time, but you still tune in every Thursday at 7 o'clock to see what I'm talking about. So, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, there's people out there who hate Milan, and Milan has barely done anything, like, the whole season to anybody. So I take things like that with a grain of salt, but I do look at more positive than I always look at negative. And you would think that the comments would break me. Coming from somebody who's never done this before, you would think that I would be broken down. You would think that I'd call Quran like 24 times a day and be like, oh, why do people not like me? I don't understand. I'd be reading them comments along with him, and half of them shits be funny. Like, I'd be laughing at
we saw you in the pre-reunion video with you, Milan, and Quran, and we was actually discussing that too. My fiance helps me a lot with watching the stuff, and he keeps me updated and making sure that I'm up to speed, whatever. And we watch a lot of stuff, and he even mentioned, he's like, he likes the fact that you can take it, you know what I mean? Like, you're reading your own diss comments on and laughing about it, and you know what I mean, making jokes, which is dope. It it's rare to see that nowadays. It really is. It's rare, and to know that you can take it and dish it is a dope thing, honestly. Because a lot of people that can dish it can't take it, and they get all personal and they want to fight and stuff. Shout out to Chris for joining in.
But you know what's funny, and people don't know this. At the end of our reunion, and even during filming, Chris, and not just because she's in here, but honestly, if you talk to Chris outside of this, Chris will give you some of the most positive shit ever, but Chris will also give you some of the most rawest, positive shit that you need to hear, but it's raw as fuck. So
I love Chris through the season. I thought that she came in, made her impacts, and did what she had to do and left. I thought that she did what she needed to do, and it was strong every scene that she was in. So shout out to Chris.
I do, and I'm telling you, like, the stuff that Chris be saying to me, honestly, was just like, you know, we all make mistakes. We all say things that we probably are just going to be like, oh, my Lord. Like, you know, so you got to kind of learn how to, like I said, you can dish it, but you got to make sure you be able to take it. But then you have to, I also learned from her, some of these people you don't know in real life. So you have to be careful with how you're going about it, because in real life, they may take it personal. But to you, it's just like, oh, it's just jokes, you know? So I've learned that, like I said, I learned with the Rock situation that you got to learn how to tone it down. Like, you got to learn how to, if you want to say, like, you know, like the normal shade we do, oh, like, girl, you got on them cheap clothes, like, that's regular reads. Right, some of the stuff I was saying was like, it was like you knew, like, I knew him personally. So it was just, like I said, it was just suckish to watch myself, and I cringe watching myself when it comes to Rock. I cringe watching myself when it comes to talking about Chris's friend. It just, like, I just cringe a lot of times. And like I said, people think that I watch myself and I look at this and I be like, oh, I'm reading, bitch. Like, now sometimes I do. Sometimes I be like, oh, bitch, I'm good on the feet, period. But sometimes I have the other side and I'm just like, oh, Jesus, DEION, shut up. Like, just shut up. Just shut up sometimes. Like, really. So it's okay to close your mouth sometimes. So like I said, I do love these interviews. I do love talking to you. I do love talking to other people who are like, you know, we've done this before, DEION. Like, don't let this stuff get you caught up in the moment and you forget and you lose yourself. Because I don't want to lose myself. I don't want to lose sight of my career. I don't want to lose sight of trying to get to know people in certain industries where I may want to branch out and do something else, and I've lost that chance because of what I said.
No, I agree, and that's dope that you catch that now. But I do want to say, shout out, and this is shout out to Karan as well. You are amazing for like this is TV is for you, like for real. Like you are meant to be on TV. Like it comes naturally. You're witty, you're funny. And I'm not just saying this because I have you on, but everyone's not built for TV. Everyone's not built for reality. There's some people that's meant to be actors. There's some people that's meant to be reality stars. People have their place, but even though this is not your dream, it's something that comes so natural, and it makes it seem like you make it so effortless. So shout out to you, and I hope whatever your endeavors are, which I know is to be a nurse practitioner and all of this, but I hope all your success comes true. I hope you can get this and that, you know what I mean, and some more. Get multiple bags, because that's what it's about, multiple bags. You feel what I'm saying? Keep growing, keep succeeding, and keep running. But I also want to know who is your best dressed? Who you feel like was best dressed? Other than yourself, I don't want you to include yourself. Who was best dressed at the reunion, you feel like?
I do feel like Milan came very elegant but simple. But I'm going to be honest with you. Miss motherfucking Chris Hampton, when I tell you, when you see her, you're going to be like, the wig is laid, the clothes is laid, the shoes was laid. Mama was sitting up there looking like, you know, a nice little mermaid, and she read it. Chris looked right. I mean, as much as Chris be spinning on the stuff, Chris looked right. Like, the minute I saw her, I was like, all right, bitch, I need to go back and let me go redo my little look, because, child, I ain't going to have Miss Mama on this same couch trying to outdo me. So I will say, though, not because I like Milan or whatever the case is, I do feel like I can't say myself, but I felt like Milan looked very elegant. He looked very, like, very simple, and Chris just looked amazing. As much as people want to say I'm shady and I don't like the other side of the couch, I thought that Tay Anthony did look nice. I really did. And this is coming from my mouth, and who would have thought that? But Tay Anthony looked really nice. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay.
Quay looked nice regardless. So, I mean, anything Quay wear, I'd just be like, Chris, child. Now, Karan, you know you look T, so I'm not worried about Karan. Karan, know he looked good. So, when you see Karan, I want y'all to look at the shade. Look at the shade. Karan is T. Like, it's definitely hourglass. So, I just, you know.
Look, we all was watching the, like I said, we all saw the little pre-reunion gray sweatpants edition.
Oh, yeah. Miss Mama's is stacked. I mean, I'm talking about like General Fried Chicken, legs, breast, and thighs. Karan is there, and I'm telling y'all, in real life, like, people will be like, oh, my God, he really is. No Photoshop, no nothing. I mean, Karan literally is built like that. And I be sitting there like, can I get a piece of your thigh? Like, because, you know, I'm skinny for real.
Like, a piece of your thigh.
Child, I ain't got no booty. Like, it ain't nothing back there. It's just nothing but straight wall. And I be okay. I'm okay with that, though. I think my looks and my personality, my good brain makes up for it. So
I'm sorry. This is Sidebar. I always got to shout him out every time he comes out. All about TJ King. He is our very first fan pick. He is our very first person that supported us and shouted out and made it his business to take a picture with us and made us feel all important and stuff like that. So shout out to him. Like, I will always and forever remember you. And ever since that moment, that, you know, manifestation, that just started a trend to where we just became who we are now. So shout out to him, for real. Shout out to TJ. You're dope. But yeah, back to you.
But I will say this. I want everybody to look out for me. I know I'm going to talk about it at the reunion, but if I come back next season, we'll dig into, like I said, my personal life, and we'll talk about some things. I am going to be broadcasting a podcast. We are definitely going to be talking social, like black history, social. We're definitely going to be talking. We're going to be talking medical. We are going to be talking about women's health, men's health. We're going to be talking about nurse practitioners. We're going to bring nurses who are in school. We're going to bring CNAs. I don't give a damn if you're an LPN. I do not care. I want to create a safe haven where people talk and people feel good about themselves. People are letting loose, and we're being informative. I think that people are misinterpreting. I don't want to be like a gossip blog. Like, I mean, I could do that on the show if I wanted to, but like, I want to be informative. I want people to come on and people to talk about their life. And like, even though it's black and medical, we also want to talk about the wig makers of Atlanta. Like, we can have Milan on there. Milan does so much more than we think than when he does it on these shows. When he goes on tour with the dancing dolls, how is it affecting him mentally, going through all this stuff, doing 8 heads a day, making all these wigs, making it by hand? Like, how does all that work? Because me, I don't know how all that shit works. So tell a bitch like me.
Dope. I would love that. And I would love to, you know, hopefully I can maybe be a part of that somehow, because I am starting my epilepsy platform, because I was recently diagnosed with epilepsy. So I can definitely love to learn and give my input on things of people, because epilepsy is not really talked about a lot. So
yeah.
So that'd be dope. I really would gravitate to that. So I look forward to that happening.
Oh yeah. I always say if I do another season, I will be talking about that. Like I said, you'll get to see my mom. You'll get to see me and my sister. You'll get to see me and my friends and how we incorporate with things. And you may get to see a little bit more of me and my dad. Me and my dad, we're cool, but you know, it's always that twist and turmoil when it comes to him. But you know, I think I'll open up and let people see how I became about, you know, me. Like, not me just jumping into a group, getting into it with everybody. Maybe I'll peel back like an onion. You'll peel back the layers and get to know the person on the inside. So
that's dope. I like
and
that.
Chance wants to see me and Milan speed dating so bad. So child, I may go speed dating. We may talk about my dating life, even though we kind of did that at the end of the season, but we'll get into it on my time, on my turf. So yeah.
Well, going back to the onion thing, I think you did it right coming onto TV, You come in, hit them with a bang, give them a reason to want you to come back. Now that they're looking for you, now you can hit them with your story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, okay, so now I like him, or I don't like him, but what is he about? Why is he like this? Where does he come from? All of this good stuff. So that's dope. So I look forward to that. So is there anything you got coming up personally, maybe that you may want to talk about?
Sorry.
Before we let you go? You're fine.
I have the podcast is coming out. I'm really like putting my all into it. I'm trying to get into with anybody that is willing to help me. I just need to know what to do. So you definitely got to give me a minute. I do work. I'm definitely still studying. That ain't gonna change. I'm still studying to be the nurse practitioner. I'm still trying to study to be the best. I'm still working with patients every day when I go to work. I've always done continued education. That's never going to change. And one thing about me is I'm always going to push education. Like, I'm going to push that on certain people, especially the black community. Hell, I feel like the white parents, they push it on their kids. We need to push it on ours. Like, don't steer left. Yeah, so just a lot of positive things for me coming up. So I don't know. And then again, once this reunion airs, we'll see how this whole thing goes. Because like I said, this is my first time actually, reliving something that reliving something that I don't even want to really see. But I'm a tough cookie, so I can get through it. And then if I come back in a couple months, in about maybe 6 months after he's done filming, the Come Up at New York, his drag show's coming out. Shout out to Karan, the New York is coming, the drag show is coming, and Bad Boys Club may be coming back. So he has a lot going on before it comes back to our go round.
Well, it may be coming back, but I feel like he gave a little tea talking about I'll just drop the trailer. He didn't say I'll maybe drop a trailer. He said when I drop the trailer, you'll just get it. So I think that was kind of a little bit of tea that it is coming back.
I'll say this, and I'm not, like I said, I won't talk too much, but I will say some heavy hitters are hitting Karan up about Bad Boys Club. And they really like that. They really like the concept. So I think that this time go around, it may be a little different, but it's probably going to still keep the same concept, but we may focus on what these boys are really going through internally, like to make them lash out and act crazy. But like I said, when it comes back around for the Come Up Atlanta, you may see me. You may not. I don't know. Hopefully you do. Like I said, I don't know if I'm coming back because I haven't even got a damn offer letter, so we don't even know. So I can't even say if I am or not. But I do understand. I do appreciate the support from you. I appreciate the support from other people because not too long ago, I was just a regular boy from Jacksonville, Florida, trying to make it, child. That's all I was. And now all of a sudden I'm getting stopped in my own damn parking lot and, getting a high and getting all these DMs and requests to follow me. It's a lot. And sometimes I be wanting to cry because I'm just like, this isn't me. Like, this wasn't me a year ago. Like, I wasn't doing this. I was literally just... Like, it was a lot. It's a lot. So I appreciate it. Like, I appreciate you so much. I appreciate anybody who interviews me. I don't care if you leave a negative comment. I don't care if you leave a positive. I love if you leave a positive comment. I love the people that DM me and ask me, about my stories and situations. People tell me about themselves or how they don't speak up or whatever the case is. I love it. I love it. I love y'all so much. I'm not going to get on here and cry. So I love it. We love you, and I think you should embrace it. That you embrace it. It's a great feeling. Look, we cry enough off of bad things. It's good to cry off some good things too. Child, the only reason I don't cry is I get a damn headache.
You deserve it, though. You deserve it. You're great. It was great watching you. It was great getting to know you. It was great experiencing you on the series and also talking to you on here. You know what I mean? Like, I've grown to really, really adore you and really look forward to seeing you on the show. You are, I love everyone, but throughout all the shows that I watch, you are one of my favorites. You know what I'm saying? I have a couple, picks, from all the shows and stuff like that, and again, I love everyone and everyone's my favorite in some type of way, but I have my top picks and you are one of my favorites because the amount of respect I have for you, and you're not just messy, but you can account for your messiness. But you're also dope. You're also smart. You're also talented. You have a lot of things going for you, and I wish you nothing but great success. Honestly, I really do.
I thank you so much. Like I said, I just would have never known. Like I've been watching you. I've been following you actually I would say I've been following you for a minute. But like I said, who would ever thought that I would join an interview with you? Like I wouldn't have thought. I've been watching you do interviews with everybody else, but I wouldn't have thought that I'd be the one actually getting interviewed. Like what?
Oh, that's
My
dope.
mom can't even believe it herself. She would like sometimes she would like, this is really you. Like my son is really doing this, and I'm like, Mom, But one thing about me is I will always remain humble, trust and believe. I may give my shady reads, and like again, this is a show, so you may say the things I say, and I may act like I'm from the upper echelon. Child, please. I live in Jacksonville, Florida. I do everything just like everybody else. I pee, I shit, I get up in the morning just like everybody else. I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and get in my damn car that I pay for, and I roll my ass to work. So, it's just a good feeling. So, yeah.
That's dope, and I appreciate your kind words. I really, really do appreciate that, and I appreciate you.
You keep striving. They sleep on you. That's what they do. They sleep on you.
Keep up.
But
Let them sleep.
Wake up.
Let them sleep though, because when I come, they're gonna have no choice but to wake up. You feel me? So let them sleep, because I got some things brewing. Baby, that's about to knock a lot of people's feet off. So I honestly, I thank you for your support, and I thank you for your love. Honestly, that was dope.
Of course. Well, I thank you so much for this interview. It is now 11:10, sweetie.
Yes.
And unfortunately, maybe I should stop saying unfortunately. That's me being ungrateful. I was going to say unfortunately I have to go to work. But fortunately, I should start saying fortunately I do have to go to work. Because, a lot of people are in the, and not even trying to be shady, a lot of people are in the unemployed part, and I actually have a job that I actually love. So I need to watch.
No, I understand. No. But before you go, can you do a drop for us and give us, I am so-and-so from so-and-so, and then you're watching.
Oh.
And then,
okay, and sometimes it's so crazy because I'm so bad at these sometimes, but I'm going to try my best. But, okay, y'all, it was nice, y'all. This is DEION from the Come Up Atlanta Season 2, which premieres on Thursdays at 7 p.m. on YouTube on the Gemini Films channel. And you are here with me and the Royal Couch, sweetie, and we was talking just enough tea. And if you didn't watch it, get your ass back on this live and watch. That's all I'm going to say.